All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered abroad. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. All right, we are no cap nations of kings and priests. All right. Want to give double honors to the elders of Masharah, Yasha Allah. Salute to my brethren. Salute to my brothers in arms. Shabbat shalom to the family. All right. Want to give also peace and salutations to all them brothers who are going out into the highways and byways, teaching our people who they are, how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and faith in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. All right. Also want to, give a shout out to you sisters as well, man, who are keeping order in the home and, and keeping the kids in order as well, teaching them the traditions of our forefathers. All right. So shalom, shalom to y'all. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shalom, shalom, Mak. Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shalom, shalom. So, today's lesson is something that it's a topic, in Yasha Allah. I like to start off by saying, this topic is a continuation in our studies. However, we have to make a determination, and through the Spirit, a little bit, I would say a little bit under a year ago, me and another brother, Elder Reuben, Shalom, Elder Reuben, we came to the conclusion through the Spirit separately that we are and no doubt about it, in the new covenant, right? For the blood of a Mashiach Yahweh Shai, right? So this is our determination through the Spirit. This is something that we've been studying through the Spirit. No man taught us about this. It was a little bit of it was kind of like separately the Spirit dealt with us, and then when it came a point, I had to, I called the brother and I said, "Hey, Ak, are we in the new covenant?" And the brother said, "Yeah, we are." And then it kind of grew from there, and it wasn't something that was pressured on us. It wasn't something that was taught to us, but it came directly through the Spirit. So all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for that. But this is something that kept continuing through the Spirit. So today we're going to go through some scriptures, man, to make sure that we understand, right, why we took this position. And through the Spirit, we are not here to condemn brothers who believe that you are in the old covenant. However, we are here to present what was presented to us, and this is something that we've always done. We've always presented information, and we've gotten a lot of hate from it, in the short period of time. Brothers that's calling us out, calling us niggas, wish we would die, and unfortunately, that's the way it goes. You're gonna be hated on, and we understand that. And if y'all seen our classes, that it's a requirement, So, again, through the Spirit, and Bahashima Mashiach Yahweh Shai, this is where we're gonna come out, So, what one, first scriptures at Nehemiah, if you could, let's go and grab First Peter's 1:18, Baba Kasha, because this is the issue that a lot of us have, is not truly understanding the position of us being in this new covenant that was given to us, and again, we're not here to condemn anyone. We're here to just present the information, and then it's one that's going to continue to grow. I will not tackle any prophecies currently, but I do plan on future future teachings about prophecy and prophesying that was done in the Old Testament about a Mashiach's blood being in the new covenant, man. You can't deny it, you know. So all praises to the Most High, man. And for this understanding. But go ahead, Nehemiah, if you could go ahead and read that, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of First Peter, chapter 3. Oh, sorry. Said chapter 3, right?
So like chapter 1, verse 18.
All right. It's the book of First Peter, chapter 1 and verse 18.
Uh-huh.
For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold from
Right.
your
Salaka, because these are material things that are corruptible, right? So now we have something that's even better. Go ahead, continue reading.
from your vain conversation
Mm-hmm.
received by tradition from your fathers.
Right. So this is the type of understanding that, and our forefathers had, but it can never make us the way we're supposed to be, right? So now, continue reading.
Verse 19. But with the precious blood of Hamashiach,
Mm-hmm.
as of a lamb without blemish
A
and
lamb
without
without what?
spot, without blemish
A lamb without
and
blemish. Read on.
without spot.
And without spot. That is the perfect sacrifice. His example. I want to make something absolutely clear. Grace is not a covenant. Grace is a gift by a Mashiach Yahushai and what he did for us. Grace is not a covenant. Grace is a gift that a Mashiach gave us through Yahweh. Things that we do not deserve. So with that conscience and with that understanding, we're going to want to keep the law of the Most High God. We're going to want to keep everything through the Spirit. This is not something that is taught by the letter of the law. It's taught by the spirit of the law, right? I pray you understand, right? So from there, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go to the scriptures everybody else goes to. Let's go to Jeremiah 31, and we'll start at verse 31, right? Let me go ahead and go there with the fam so that y'all can follow along. So now, if y'all don't understand, if y'all the first time going to Jeremiah 31, this is future prophecy and understanding about the new covenant in the book of Jeremiah. Go ahead, Art.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel
So
and
now
with the house.
this is a new covenant with the house of Israel, right? So now a new is something that needed to be either renewed or re-examined and or redone, right? So when something is going off, right? If this is now again, we're reading in the book of Jeremiah, okay? In the book of Jeremiah, we broke the covenant in Jeremiah. If you want to get even more, we broke the covenant even before that. A covenant is an agreement between two parties. That party, if one of the parties breaks that covenant is void. It needs to be re-annulled again. There is no way you can have a covenant, a broken covenant, and say it is still established. That makes no sense, family. We have to understand that what a Mashiach did was reaffirming us back into the Father in a new and a better covenant. Not the finishing of it, not the fruition of it, because we're still in the new covenant and seeing its fruition. However, we cannot deny that we are in it. Because if we deny we are in it, then we have to deny the blood of a Mashiach. And we are not going to do that. However, like we said before, even though we were, they talk bad about us, they wish death upon us. Why would you want to wish death on brothers who believe in Yahweh Shai? I wonder why. Anyways, continue reading.
Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break.
They did what?
Which my covenant they break.
Which my covenant they break. This is not there's no misinterpretation here, right? This is a broken covenant that needs to be reestablished, right? So now they made a covenant with us, which they break. Finish that off.
Although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
So now, who did he make a covenant to, and what do we make a covenant with? What was the actual confirmation for us and the Most High God, right? Let's go to Psalms 50 and verse 5. Watch this. Salakia, let me read some of these comments. Can anyone translate in Spanish to us, if possible, please? Disculpa, en este momento no puedo comunicar en español, pero voy a hacer clases en español para que entiendan más, pero esta específica clase en inglés solamente. So just translate it. I'm going to do the class in Spanish eventually. So my apologies for that. I didn't expect to do it in Spanish. It's sad because that's that Antichrist spirit. That's right, man. Shalom, Haram. Shalom, Dawad. Shalom, Shalom. Most God bless y'all, brothers and sisters, man. But let's go ahead and get that in
Psalms 50 and 5.
Psalms 50 and 5. Go ahead, Art.
Khan, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me.
Right.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
By what?
By sacrifice.
That's the covenant. By sacrifice. Hey, Dawad, we got these scriptures, Art. Don't worry about it. We made a gathering together, the saints, and made a covenant by sacrifice. Blood for blood. If we are in the old covenant, there's a requirement for you to be justified by the Most High God. That justification is the blood. Now, let's confirm that with the Torah, right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 24 and verse 6. Y'all follow along. If you cannot follow along, just write down the precepts and then, write it down and then go over it after. However, this is going to be a continual thing. Again, this is something that we're going to keep growing in through the Spirit, right? And keep bringing it out to you, because guess what, family? We are in the new covenant. All praises to the Most High God, and all praises to the Most High God for giving us Yahweh Shai and his example, right? And for what he did and his sacrifice. And this is something that a lot of, we understand it goes against the quote unquote community. And there's a lot of strife about this. We're not here to condemn anyone. We're here to show you our stance. And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But, we don't hate nobody. We love Yasha Allah, man. We love our people.
That's right.
Even though, as a matter of fact, just, real quick, I'm going to just show y'all. Right?
Even if there's some false teachers of all you brothers and sisters watching too.
Watch this, right? It's a delightful little screen.
Even as there shall be false teachers among you. So I'm gonna tell you something, all you brothers and sisters watching, tune in. Anybody tell you covenant, that's a false teacher. Okay? Okay? Fine. Get away. Go the other way. Okay? Just fall behind this guy. Your ass gonna doubt this. You gonna roast this fucking nigga, man.
It's an echo,
The
Cap.
Lord's
It's an
making sure
echo.
this fucking bitch ass nigga, he gonna kill all you niggas too, man. Right up this thing and struck a nigga.
You said what?
It's an echo.
So I'm gonna tell you something, all you brothers and sisters watching, tune in.
When you play it, you gotta
Y'all
mute
hear
up so you can hear it.
Y'all hear it?
It's an echo. You got to
Okay, so
echo.
When you play it, you gotta
Okay,
mute
so-
up so you can hear it clear.
Y'all heard that?
No, don't you mute
No?
up. Just everybody else mute up.
I don't understand. Did y'all hear it or not?
No, you was on mute.
Okay, Con. Well, you know what I'm saying? Most High bless, Yasha Allah, you know what I'm saying? And, we're going to continue to put this word out, man, So where were we? Exodus, right?
Twenty-four and 6.
Right. Hey, everybody mute up, man. I need everybody to go on mute right now. I keep hearing, I'm hearing background noise. All right, go ahead, Nehemiah.
Con, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 6. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar.
So now this is the blood, right? That was given for what sacrifice? What blood for blood, right? Continue reading.
Verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant.
Of the what?
And of the covenant.
Of the covenant, read.
And read in the audience of the people.
Uh-huh.
And they said, all that the Lord hath said, we will we do, and be obedient.
And be what?
And be obedient.
And be obedient, right? So now, what is it? What does that mean? The covenant, right? So now when you look at the covenant, the agreement, you look at an agreement with Adam, you look at an agreement with Noah, you look at an agreement with Abraham, right? What was the agreement with Abraham? The circumcision, right? So now, what was the accusation that of Paul? Paul's accusation was that he was teaching people to be uncircumcised and not keep the law of Moses. Con? Everybody agree to that?
Con.
Okay, Con. So what is the true understanding of the covenant? Is the agreement, is the doing of it. To be circumcised in heart, in mind, so that you're able to keep and want to do the commandments of the Most High God, to be obedient through faith in a Mashiach. Your sacrifice, this right here that we're reading, is a failed attempt. We read in Jeremiah where we broke this. This is what we broke. And we kept breaking it. So now, as a just God, as a just Alahayim, he did what? He had to redo the covenant and the agreement with what? With blood.
That's
Con?
right. Con.
Give me John chapter 1 and verse 14. Watch this.
Con. It's the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
Right.
And we beheld his glory. The glory as of the only begotten of the Father.
The only begotten of the Father, full of what?
Full of grace and truth.
Full of grace and truth, right? Jump up to verse 17, Baba Kasha.
Verse 17. For the law was given by Moses.
The law was
But
given by Moses when? In Horeb, right? In Mount
Khan,
Sinai, right? The,
mhm,
the, the, the letter of the law, the Torah. Khan,
Khan.
read on.
But grace and truth came by Yahweh Shai Hamashiach.
Now understand that. But grace and truth came by a Mashiach Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai taught us when he walked this earth, taught us that grace, and taught us the truth, right? Let's grab an example. Let's go to John 8, right? Because what the law could not give us is that grace, not disowning the grace, right? Because grace was still there. However, the true grace of the Most High God came with a Mashiach, right? Go ahead, Ak.
John 8, what verse?
Let's start at verse 1.
Khan, it's the book of John, chapter 8, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Yahweh Shai went unto the Mount of Olives,
Right.
and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act.
In the very act, right? Read.
Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him.
Mm-hmm.
But Yahushua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not.
Right.
So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Right, because this is a representation of a Mashiach telling us, not only is he telling the Pharisees here, but he's telling y'all, telling me, cast the first stone, ye who has not sinned. What do we see in Israel today? We see condemnation because you're not keeping the same moon I'm keeping. Your fringes aren't as big as mine. I wear my fringes at the border of my shirt. I wear them on the side of my shirt. My beard isn't as long as yours. This brother's going off. He's going to get burnt. He's going to go to hell. He's missile food. Who are you? Who are you to condemn another when you in the same boat he is? We all in the same boat. We cannot condemn each other because we condemned without a Mashiach.
That's right.
Read that again.
Verse 7 from the top. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Read on.
And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Yahushua had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee?
Right.
She said, No man, Lord. And Yahushua said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee.
Hold on.
Go.
Hold on. Hold on. He said what?
Neither do I condemn thee.
Yahweh Shai said, neither do I condemn you. Why are you condemning other brothers?
That's right.
You're given this grace period. right? And this is the understanding of the new covenant. You're given the opportunity to repent. Again, grace is not a covenant. The new covenant is established in him. He's telling you right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the law said to condemn her and kill her, Salakia, and execute her, I should say. However, a Mashiach said, I do not condemn you. And he says, what? Go and sin no more. That's the point. Family, y'all got to understand, stop sinning. Repent and come back to the Most High God in the name of a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's how you do it. Everything points to him. The
That's
problem
right.
is we put the law in front of him.
That's right.
Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. And I understand that. I get it because I didn't either. I was blind too. This was something that I studied, and I said, "Are we in the new covenant?" I was like, "Oh hell no, we in the new covenant. Where's our bodies? Where's we're not in our land yet." I said the same thing. However, prophecy is happening as we speak.
That's right.
Not everything is in fruition. However, if you deny the blood of a Mashiach, you're denying the new covenant. You can't say you in the old. The old has its own requirements. You need to do what the old says if you in the old covenant.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense for you to say, well, we still in the old covenant, but Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Stop saying Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Why do you need him? You have a lamb sacrifice, Khan. Where's your temple? Where's the priest? That's the requirement for the old covenant.
That's right.
And I say old loosely because there is no temple. You the temple.
God.
We have a high priest. He's there. We're gonna grab it, right? As a matter of fact, let's go. Give me Acts. Give me Acts 13. And we're going to start at verse 38. Acts 13 and 38, right? Paul was in the new covenant. Peter was in the new covenant. Okay, James was in the new covenant. They all understood this. They all was in the new covenant. When you read their epistles, you have a deeper understanding. When I'm going to explain it like this. When a Mashiach was talking about lusting for a woman in your mind, right? And he said, if you already committed adultery in your mind, right? What's the mind according to the Bible? The heart. Right? I will renew their heart, right? And they shall think of me. Because he said what? Because if it starts here, it's going to come outwardly.
That's
right. So the inward man is what counts, is what you need to get clean. Again, we don't mind if we get hated on because of this. We've been hated on before. No Cap is not a big organization. We little, we small. However, we know we're sincere in this, but we're not we're not too prideful to say that we were wrong. What we were teaching was not the way it was supposed to be taught. But here we are in the new covenant understanding, because that's what the Most High gave us, man. And we're not going to deny it for no one. And again, this wasn't taught to us. This was all through the Spirit, Yeah, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But go ahead. Let's start at verse 38, Baba Kashai.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 38.
Yeah.
Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins.
So now this man is a Mashiach Yahweh Shai, right? Christ, right? So now he is priest for you, right? The forgiveness of sins. who's speaking here. This is Peter. He's speaking to Israelites. For the only way for you to remission of sins is through a animal sacrifice. Understand this. When you're reading this, you have to visualize where you are. You have to visualize where this is coming from. This is Peter speaking to Israelites who understand forgiveness of sins is when you take a lamb and or animal, clean animal, to be sacrificed for your sins. Y'all understand? So when he says this, he's saying this man is preached through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins. They didn't understand this. As a matter of fact, real quick, I'm going to grab it. This is Luke 5:21. But the scribes and Pharisees began to reason, saying, who is this which speaketh blasphemous? Who can forgive sins but God alone? Y'all see that? They're saying, who is this guy who says he could forgive sins? God alone only forgives sins. So when you're saying you're in the old covenant, who forgives your sins? I mean, this is not rocket. There's a simplicity in Christ. And this is what it is. It's through him. Everything points to him. Right? So continue reading, Baba Kasha, the Acts.
Verse 39. And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
Read that again.
Verse 39 from the top. And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
The law cannot justify you. However, we are the faith and the belief, right, is one thing. The obedience of the law is the faith and belief. There's a difference. I can keep the law without faith. I can keep the law without belief. But I can do none of those things without a Mashiach.
That's right.
A Mashiach is the reason. Again, family, y'all failed. Y'all failed. We read it in Exodus and we read it in Jeremiah. We broke the covenant. If you have a broken covenant, why you say you in that covenant if you already broke it?
Right.
So now, understanding that the law of Moses cannot justify us, let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 7. And I'm gonna just, man, let me tell you, if you now we're going into Hebrews, right? The whole book of Hebrews talks about the new covenant, period. There is no getting around it. However, let's grab Hebrews 7. Yeah, Khan. Okay.
What verse?
Let me grab verse 11, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 11.
Right.
If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood,
right,
for under it the people received the law.
Received the what?
Received the law.
Received the law. Read on.
What further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek?
Right, because when we read Psalms 110 and verse 4, why are we in the order of Melchizedek forever if we are in the order of the Levitical priesthood? The Levitical priesthood were the mediators between us and the Most High God. The law came through Moses, but grace and truth came by a Mashiach Yahushai. You can't deny his coming, his truth. He came, shed his blood for you, right? Hey, Kalel, shalom, mat. Yabashim Shabakata, Shabbat shalom, mat. Shalom, shalom, mat. So, if the perfection came from the priesthood, why will we need the Melchizedek? Continue reading.
And not be called after the order of Aaron.
Right.
For the priesthood being changed,
Being what?
being changed.
So now, real quick, I'm going to go into the blue letter here, and we're going to grab the understanding of change. Now, many people grab the word changed. This is G3346, right? Let's grab the translations, right? Translate: to carry over, remove, change. To transpose, transfer, right? To transpose two things, one of which is put in place of another. To transfer oneself or suffer oneself to be transferred, to go over, or it's like to go or to pass over. So now, when you look at that word change here in this verse, and we're reading for the priesthood being what? Transferred, right?
Mm-hmm.
There made a transfer also of the law. When did this transfer take place? Hold that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 3 and we'll start at verse 17. So like verse 13. So Matthew 3 and 13.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 13. Then cometh Yahushua from Galilee,
right,
to Jordan unto John, to be baptized of him.
Now, real quick, this is John the Baptist, right? John the Baptist was a Levitical priest.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that? His father was Zacharias the priest, a Levitical priest.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a priest sanctifying and cleansing the high priest, which is who? A Mashiach. Watch this. Read that.
Verse 14. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and comest thou to me?
Right. He's like, man, what? He knew through the Spirit who he was. He's like, what? No, you need to baptize me. Right? Continue
That's right.
reading.
Verse 15. And Yahushua answering said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness. Then he suffered him.
Right, meaning he baptized them. Read on.
And Yahushua, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him. Right. And he saw the Spirit of Elohim.
Right, read on.
Descending like a dove and lighting upon him.
Read on.
Verse 17. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
What is that confirmation? Transferring the Levitical priesthood back into the Melchizedek priesthood under a Mashiach Yahushai. We're going to prove that. Let's go back to Hebrews 7, Baba Kasha.
I'm there.
All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Read 12, Baba Kasha.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 12. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
A transferring of the priesthood. Read on.
Verse 13. For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe.
Another tribe, meaning he came from the tribe of Judah. Read on.
of which no man gave attendance at the altar.
Right? The altar of what? The Levitical priesthood altar that was commanded by the Most High God, and then re-established again back to Yahushai, back to Christ. Continue.
Verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah,
Right? Read on.
of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Because Moses was a Levite. However, when you're looking at John the Baptist, a Levitical priest, why is a Levitical priest telling a Judite, you should baptize me?
Come,
He's a Levitical priest.
come.
He again, family, we are here to present the information. We didn't come on here just, hey, we believe in it. No, man, we let the Spirit deal with us here. This is not something that I forced on any brother here. In no cap. In no cap, we never forced any doctrine on any of us. What we do is allow the Spirit to deal with us. And if the Spirit deals with us, that's who we trust. And we are undeniably in the new covenant. Bahashima Mashiach Yahushai.
Bahashima Mashiach Yahushua.
All right. So, with that being said, hey, Dawad, Shalom, Mak. Yahushua Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Mak. All praises, man. All praises. That's right, Khalil. That's right. All praises, all praises. Let's continue reading. Read 15, Baba Kasha.
Come, verse 15. And it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest,
Right?
who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life.
All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? What?
Come.
So now, where's the temple?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the temple? Right? So let's go to Matthew 12:6. Right? Yahushai gave us the breadcrumbs. All we're doing is picking them up. That's it.
Come.
Matthew 12:6, Baba Kasha.
Come. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Hold on. There is one greater than the temple. You got to understand how controversial that was. This is a brother who's saying everything that y'all believe in, where you go and worship, there's one greater here than the temple. Because check this out, family. If you go to that temple, what are you doing? You're doing sacrifices. You're doing remission of sins. You're going to the priesthood. Where is your temple if you're in the old covenant? We're going to grab your precept right now, Khalil. I got things I got to bring up, but all praises Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So let's go back to Hebrews, right? We're going to go back to Hebrews. Go back to Hebrews. All right. Hebrews, we're going to go to chapter 10, right? So now Hebrews 10, we're going to start at verse 1.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 1.
Right.
For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never, with those sacrifices which they offered year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
You cannot deny this. All you're going to do is deny Yahushai. How many scriptures can you pull through the Old Testament where the Most High said a sacrifice and offerings he would not? Why? Because your conscience still kept sinning. It did not make you perfect. We would literally prepare a lamb for the sin. We are but through the grace and the power of Yahweh Shai, that's the example. He said it straight, not us. We failed, family.
That's right.
However, we have a high priest who showed us that perfection. Let's jump, Salakia. Let's jump to verse 16.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Lord.
Read.
I will put my laws into their hearts.
Into their what?
Into their hearts.
And
in their minds will I write them.
So now what does that mean? Right? That means that we're not going to want to sin anymore. It is a process of time. We're in that grace and getting ourselves right to be a good example and a living sacrifice for the Most High God. But no matter what we did in accordance to the law made us and justified us. Nothing. There's no temple right now. You the temple.
That's right.
You have to show yourself approved through your faith and through your works. And the faith is through a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Bro, he wrote it already. He gave it to us already. He gave us the blueprint. He comes in the volume of the book. Everything is written by him, for him. Our justification with the law, in other words, without him, and us trying to justify. See, that was the whole thing with Paul. Y'all misunderstanding Paul, right? Because Paul had to be like, look, man, I'm telling y'all, like, I'm not saying break the law. What I'm saying is the way y'all doing it ain't going to justify you. However, you got to look at Yahweh Shai. Imagine having those conversations back 2,000 years ago. You had to be a strong brother. And all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, putting the spirit on Paul and Peter and the rest of the disciples and apostles to do that. So now, in these last days, you have this understanding, coming out. And this was our, again, we were in error. But through his grace, he allowed us to see this again. And then we were persecuted because we believe Yahweh Shai died for our sins. Make that make sense to me. Baba Kashad. How you saying nigga die if I believe in Yahweh Shai? Think about what type of spirit you rolling in. And then you call us Pharisees? You got to check your spirit. Why are y'all telling for us to die if we say live through Yahweh Shai? Think about that. Think about that for a second. You're telling us to die because we don't believe in the same doctrine you do. We're telling brothers to believe in Yahweh Shai. Think about that. Right? So from there, let's jump up to verse 28.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 28. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
And that was the whole thing. You died. There was no justification. Y'all breaking the law of the Most High God and getting judged. We know that judgment comes through a Mashiach. However, right, that law, right, required you required that blood. So that blood of a Mashiach was given to you as a gift, right? Keep reading.
Verse 29. Of how much more sorer punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of God, and hath counted the blood of the covenant,
Right?
wherewith he was sanctified, an unholy thing, and
Uh-huh.
hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace.
Right. So that's a question. How are you trying to be justified under that punishment? Isn't a good example and a good conscience? It's like I could teach you how to keep the law, but you got to truly understand how to keep the law.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you wear fringes, but are you truly wearing fringes to justify yourself? Or because the Most High God told you to, and you love the Most High God so much that you gonna do it? Think about, there's a difference, family. I've seen it in this walk where brothers do things to do them, but not wholeheartedly. I thank the Most High that we don't have unsincere brothers around us, but it took that leaven to leave, and the Most High exposed it, But like I said, we were in error. We thought that salvation came by the law. It's not. Salvation
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come through the law. It don't. Salvation comes through Yahweh Shai,
That's right.
right? That's true salvation. It's through Him. So again, we broke the covenant. And I always ask if we're not in the old covenant, what covenant are we in?
Right.
Again, it's justification.
Eh,
It's perspective. And again, we love y'all. We truly love y'all. You know what I'm saying? But again, we were in error. So, all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So now, a physical ordinance. Let's go to Hebrews 9. We're going to start at verse 1. The physical ordinances of the law, right?
Con.
Salakia. Where am I? All right, here we go. Hebrews
What
9
verse?
and verse 1. We're going to start at verse 1. We're going to jump a little bit.
Con. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 1.
Right?
Then verily, the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary.
Right?
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
Read on.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had the
Salakia,
golden,
the second what?
the second veil,
Y'all remember that, okay? Keep reading.
the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all,
Right? Read.
which had, Salaki,
Uh-huh. Read.
which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant.
So now, this is a physical representation of the what? The old covenant
Con.
on earth. Y'all with me?
That's right. Con.
Okay. We're going
Con.
to show you through the scriptures where this was physically broken by Yahweh Shai's death. Give me the book of Matthew, chapter 27, and we're going to read verse 50 and 51. So now we read the physical ordinances of the covenant, right? This was broken in Yahweh Shai's death.
Said verse 51.
50 and 51.
50 and 51. Khan. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 50. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
Right? Meaning he this is a point of death, right? On the cross. Read on.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from
So
the
hold
top.
on. The veil. This is, we read this, of the temple was what? Rent twain, meaning a broken half. How? Read on.
From the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent.
This was a physical broken, right? Physically broken temple, giving you a spiritual representation that there was a change of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
That you are no longer, the veil has been lifted, and the true priest, the true high priest, right, was coming into fruition and given full power of his ministry. Understand this, right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Give me verse 13.
Khan. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse 13. And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face.
Stop. So a veil over his face. That veil was in the temple, right?
Khan.
Right. Nobody could enter. Not anybody. Not even a Levite. You had to be a high priest to enter there. Right. Read on.
That the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished.
Read on.
Verse 14. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament.
Read.
Which veil is done away in Hamashiach.
You see that? Which veil is done away with in a Mashiach. So you read in the book of Matthew the physical representation of Christ lifting that veil. Right? Now, when we read, in other words, when we're reading the scriptures, we're reading it through the spirit of a Mashiach.
That's right.
When we had to go to the priest and read it where, family? In the temple. This is not, you didn't have a published book like you have today. You couldn't go online and stuff and do what we do today. It wasn't like that. You even read in Luke 4 where a Mashiach went as a child and read where? In the temple with the elders. That's the way we did it, but Christ put that away. So when we're reading this with total access through the Spirit.
That's right.
Through a Mashiach, and you just read the physical representation of the unveiling of the veil through the temple from his death.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Matthew chapter 26 and verse 28. We're going to go back a little bit.
Khan. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 28. For this is my blood of the New Testament.
This is my blood of the what?
Of the New Testament.
So now, why would he say New Testament, New Covenant? Why would he say that? Read.
Which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
Which is shed for many for remission of sins. You cannot do the temple no more. There is no more representation of the temple and this animal sacrifice. It is only the representation of Yahushua Mashiach's blood in new covenant. Right?
So
now, from there, I'm gonna end this right now. We can go on for hours. However, this is our stance. This is what the Most High put in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, uh, again, you know, this is what we learned. And you know, we give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High because you know He opened that up to us. You know, however, the prophecy. As a matter of fact, real quick, watch this so y'all understand how the Most High works. Give me that Second Corinthians 3, right? And we'll start at verse 1. I'm gonna get it real quick. Right, Second Corinthians 3 and verse 1.
So book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Because this is y'all get so stuck on, is it written in our hearts, Ak? Is it written in our hearts? Y'all don't understand what that means. Y'all really misinterpreting that. Written in your hearts means you're not gonna want to sin no more. Yo, y'all, all of us are in sin. All of us. There's nothing you do that will be correct. Nothing. You need the new covenant. You need a Mashiach.
Right.
But you condemning a brother because he's keeping a different day than you. You condemning a brother because he doesn't have he cut the marring of your beard. It's a little bit too low over here. It's not grown in, and your beard's got to be a certain. Come on, man. Come on. We got to stop with this and focus on a Mashiach.
That's right.
He did everything. Let's focus on him. How about that? If you argue about that, you got more problems. Right? Salaki. Go ahead and read that in verse 1, Baba Kashan.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Do we begin again to commend ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Or need we, as some others, epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you?
Right. Read.
Ye are our epistle written in our hearts.
Written where?
Written in our hearts.
Written in our hearts. Read.
Known and read of all men.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Hamashiach.
The epistles of Hamashiach. Read.
Ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God.
Stop. If anyone reads this, they'll be like, man, what are y'all talking about? Because you would want to walk in the Spirit of the living God, in his law, statutes, and commandments, in his obedience. But this is the point, family. Everything that Mashiach already did it. His examples there. So now watch this. Finish that off.
Not in tables of stone, or slaklaya, not in the tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart.
Why did he say that? This is read this. Go to Ezekiel 36 and 26.
Wow.
36 and 26?
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, y'all got to understand that this is you wanting to keep the law through your. Man, go ahead and read that out.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 26. A new heart also will I give you.
Uh-huh.
And a new spirit will I put within you.
So now when a Mashiach was telling Nicodemus, yo, you need to be reborn again, he was like, how do I go into my mother's belly again? Y'all don't understand this, right? In John 12, it says, he shall blind their eyes and harden their hearts, for they should not see. It's not time for you to see. The same way it wasn't time for us to see. However, we see it now, right? Because he gave us a new heart. He's given us a new spirit. Read on.
And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh.
You gotta keep the law, the law. Yo, you saying more the law than you do Christ.
That's right.
There's a difference here. You're uplifting the law more than Christ. The law can't justify you. Christ does. Y'all figure that one out. It shouldn't take that much to figure out.
It's easy. It's simple. It's right there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Art.
And I will give you an heart of flesh,
Right?
and I will put my spirit within you,
I will put my spirit in you and do what?
and cause you to walk in my statutes.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
And do what?
And do them.
You see that? And do them. This is not a new concept. We were always, this has always been for us to come back to the Melchizedek priesthood in obedience, in perfect flourishing in a Mashiach Yahushai, right? And so that we can have a new spirit, and we have a new spirit through a Mashiach, man, right? So, that's all praise and glory to Yahweh Shemi Oshai. Shalom, Angelica. Yeah, shalom. A Thawada for tuning in. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shemi Oshai. Kalel, shalom, King. 2 Corinthians 16:13. Right. Nevertheless, it shall turn the Lord. The veil shall be taken away. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Khan, all praises, all praises. Quam Hope, Isaiah 5:51-7. Salakia, hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, but the people in whose heart is my law. Right.
Wow.
Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be afraid of the revealing. Khan, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Kalel, Sirach 2:17-18. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts, Khan, and humble their souls in the sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not the hands of men. For as his ministry is, so is his mercy. All praise on good. So keep the law through the Spirit. That's right. Right. Exactly. Is that simple?
That's right.
It's simple. And this is and if I could, this is exactly what it was the misconception with Paul. They were saying, well, Paul, you're saying, break the law. Paul said, I'm not telling you to break the law. I'm telling you to keep the law through the Spirit. And like the Most High said, we want to keep the law because he gave us a spirit to do the law. But the example is a Mashiach. So, all praises to the Most High God. I just want to give a shout out to Angelica. All praises to you because through the Spirit, I believe you're learning and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and that's the Spirit. So keep at it. All praises Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're gonna do another class next week, so y'all tune in, family. All praises to the Most High. Anybody got anything to say?
So, I did want to say something.
No, you can't.
No, I just wanted to point something out, man. How humble Hamashiach was when they came and tempted him, the Pharisees. Because even then, Christ knew that the woman, perhaps did something. That's why he said, "Don't go and sin no more." He wouldn't have said that if he didn't know anything. But how humble he was, because he didn't witness it himself. He said he just told her to go, just don't do it no more, because he didn't witness it himself. And as you see, just how Jake like to do. Oh, he did it. But like Christ said, he who cast the first stone, he who have not sinned cast the first stone. Them jokers got convicted in their spirit and left, man. One by one.
That's what I was
the
going to
eldest to the younger. That was
they
crazy, man.
they all went off.
It was like, man, fuck you, Christ. Let me go on about my business. Christ went back to doing whatever he was doing in the sin, man.
Right.
That's a humble spirit though to have, man. To know that, to know that somebody sinned, but that's why Christ said, you walk as the example. He was showing you an example. If you didn't see it, you can't say nothing.
Right.
So, and you have to have witnesses.
See? I get feedback. We don't need that.
Time try to come and take away the word real quick.
Hey, but all praises to the Most High, man. We're gonna keep bringing this out. Again, we got a lot of negative feedback, but all praises to those who were edified. And that's all we hope for, man. Again, we're not here to condemn anyone. We're just here to edify and bring it out through the Spirit. Rachel, beautiful spirit, wonderful class. All praises. Yeah, I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. So we'll keep doing it. So all praises. So those who keep the law through the Spirit are in the covenant. To be honest with you, a lot of them who teach they're still in the old covenant, they don't know it, but they're in the new covenant.
It just hasn't been revealed to them yet.
It hasn't been revealed to them, So all praises to the Most High, man. So with that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Family.
Shalom.
Much love, family.
Shabbat
Shalom.
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 Shalom.